Large Ahmet Aliolu, thanks for coming in. I guess expectations weren't that high that he would actually comment on something like the Khashoggi case, knowing how negatively it reflects on Saudi Arabia, particularly at this point. But he did make a point of saying that there is still very much a role for Mohammed bin Salman going forward in implementing Vision 2030. I mean, do you take that as an indication that no action will be taken against the Crown Prince for what is now widely seen as his directive of this murder of Khashoggi here?
It seems that now, Andrea, it's the time before the big turmoil. The family is the one hand, the father, the king himself, does not want to give up his son easily. Mohammed bin Salman is the one who is the de facto leader of Saudi Arabia. Everybody knows that he is the defense minister, the chief of the intelligence. He's everything in the royal family. Imprisoning lots of the princes. He's the one who is having everything in hand, even the economy. So it's not easy for the king to easily abandon him. Even we're not sure if the king himself knows what about the CIA recent report, if he was informed with this, because what we understand that the king is just getting information from the channel of Mohammed bin Salman. He's the one who is giving or feeding him with everything happening. He's not allowed to watch even international news channels. It's only the channels that the inner circle decide. The newspapers, they also choose. So we're not 100% sure that he knows exactly what's happening, but it seems that he's still determined that MBS is the one who should be the leader in the future. He's the one who knows the vision of the kingdom in 2030. And he is sending a clear message to the international community that he is not abandoning them. Now, on the other hand, you have the case of Jamal Khashoggi. You have the case of Yemen. It's very clear that the Yemen case is so effective on the table. The international community wants to have an end to this war. The Houthi, on the other hand, with the sanctions happening in Iran, is also being put into the tight corner. So both parties, the Saudis from the one hand, the Emiratis on the other hand, from the same camp, and the Houthi from the Iranian camp, they think that it's time that the international community has agreed that we need to sit together and find solutions, because this military kind of conflict is not going to bring an end. On the other hand, Khashoggi is still on the table, embarrassing bin Salman, depending on Turkey's leaks and how Turkey is going to handle the case further. And on the other hand, how the Saudi royal family is perceiving the real threat, the imminent threat that Mohammed bin Salman might constitute. If CIA said that he is the one who gave the power, it's very difficult for the royal family to challenge the CIA decision or judgment. So at the end of the day, they have to decide whether Mohammed bin Salman or Saudi Arabia or the family is more important.
I'd like to go back, though, about the issue he did talk a little more at length about, of course, the war in Yemen. He stressed that Saudi does support these UN efforts to end the war, but then he went on to stress that Saudi is committed to protecting the Yemeni people from threats posed by Iran. It's a bit difficult to discern how serious they are about finding peace, because Saudi will always see threats from Iran existing in Yemen.
We are not 100 again. We're not 100% sure what exactly is happening between Saudi Arabia and Iran. It's a religious war. It's a political powers in the region that every party wants to dominate. Now you have Saudi Arabia's strategy in Yemen. It's very clear. If they're fighting Yemen, in Yemen, they're fighting Iran. So what's the point of going to Socotra Island in the ocean? There are no Houthis there. What's the point of going to Bab al-Mandab Strait? On the Red Sea, there is no Houthi there. If you're interested in fighting the Houthi as the proxy and the army of Iran in Yemen, then the only way is to have genuine alliance with the people on the ground. You have lots of powerful active movements and factions that the Saudi Emirati completely alienated just for the sake of their own interest, especially when it comes to the United Arab Emirates, that has the upper hand when it comes to the coalition in Yemen. So it's the Yemeni conflict is not sheer religious kind of thing, sectarian kind of conflict. It's more a political. But Saudi Arabia, of course, always reiterating the idea of Iran as a monster in the Middle East with the very expansionist policy that wants to dominate the whole region in Syria, in Yemen, in Lebanon. On the other hand, what they're doing, what we understand that they supported, whether they did that deliberately or not, the candidate of Iran in the Iraqi elections. They've also, by a way or another, let the Iranians succeed in Syria. So it's a kind of so complicated that you cannot come out whether it's political conflict between Iran and Saudi Arabia or it's a religious one. I do believe it's more political one.
Okay. Ahmed, we'll leave it there for now. Thanks so much for that.